Hello, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks for viewing, and I want to give a special thanks to anybody who's watched my other videos, those who have subscribed, and any positive comments, or even negative comments. Uh, Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Now, what I want to do here is go into why President Biden has already lost this election. It's done, it's in the bag, it's over. And there's one basic reason for that. I'm going to show you a little clip. Actually, it's more than a clip, it's a few minutes long. And afterwards, I'm going to comment on it. Okay, you hear those pundits. They have no idea what they're talking about, or they're just lying and hiding the truth. The fact of the matter is that the only thing that's going to make a difference in this election for voters to change their minds is Biden's health or lack of physical and mental. That's the only thing. Everything else that normally changes people's minds in an election are over with. People, a lot of times when there's new people at the table, they're all like, well, I got to find out what this guy's all about. So I'm not going to make my decision yet. That doesn't apply here. Trump and Biden are both well known. They're not going to change their positions on anything. Everybody who's voting for Trump is voting for Trump, and everybody who's voting for Biden is voting for Biden. And that's not going to change in any significant way between now and the election, except for one thing. Nothing has changed since 2020 except for one thing, and we all know what that is. That's Biden's health. So, because of that, a lot of the people undecided or in the middle have abandoned Biden and gone to the Trump camp. And there's absolutely no reason for anybody to go from Trump and join the Biden camp, unless somehow he finds a miracle cure for dementia. So that's just not going to happen. And if anybody can offer me an explanation why anybody would go from Trump's, camp into Biden's camp, I'm all ears. Pundits up there, oh well, we just got to make it people aware of just what Biden's done. Are you kidding me? Everybody's aware of what Biden has done. Have you been to the grocery store lately? Have you paid for food? Have you put any gas in your car? It's fresh on our minds. It's even more fresh on our minds than what it was like under Trump. And I haven't met a person yet who said it's better under Biden than it was under Trump. That person, for me, just doesn't exist. So that's not going to work. It's simply not going to work. So Biden is stuck where he's at. He's not going to improve at all, any way, shape, or form. So let's look at the possible obstacles, the supposed possible obstacles in Trump's way. There's, about five people, Biden at the top, Newsom is next, Michelle, Kamala, and Bernie. Bernie. Those are the only people that I can think of who, represent the Democrat Party. There's RFK also, but he's going to finish third if he runs as an independent, and if he drops out of the race, his votes are going to be evenly split up between Trump and Biden. So let's go with the first one, Newsom. Newsom is a tragedy waiting to happen if he runs in 24. What he's done to destroy California is too fresh on the minds of everybody across the country. Newsom is a political animal, and he knows that. He's shrewd. He's a coward, but he's shrewd. And he doesn't want to run against Trump. He wants to run against a new, fresh slate of candidates because he will be well known and nobody else will be. So he wants to run in 2028. There's no doubt about that. So let's go to just look at what California is like. We have 40% of the country's homeless, and we're only about 12% of the country's population, something like that. And those homeless are all homegrown. So let's go to the next one. Kamala, let's take her. Put in a clap of somebody laughing. a clip of somebody laughing because she's a joke and we all know it. I only put her in here because she's the vice president. Um, I think she's the vice president. Is she? Okay, if you say so. All right, and then we got Michelle. Michelle's nothing. She's been out of the limelight for so long. It's been 10 years since she was first lady. Most of the kids, the younger kids who are between 18 and 22, they don't even know who she is. When she was first lady, they were 8, 9, 10 years old. So she's done. Okay. And then Bernie. Bernie is a laughing stock. He's so yesterday. It's just the only thing you have to worry about Bernie is keep your hands on your wallet because he's going to try and reach in there and take your money. So, what that leaves us with are the court cases. Now, the court cases we can throw into a bundle, three of them, because they have absolutely no chance of working or for Biden to win, help him win. So the first one is New York, which is a civil case. Just throw it out the window. The second one is Washington, D.C. Well, that's not going to be heard in time. And the only chance that Jack Smith had of getting that heard in time before the election was when he expedited it to the Supreme Court and tried to get them to review the case right away, but they said no, they weren't having anything to do with it. They're pissed that he went around the usual protocols, and they basically kicked him in his ass on the way out the door and told him, "Go follow the protocols, and when it gets up here, we'll decide it then." So that's out. Now Atlanta, same thing. It's been postponed until after the election date, and unbelievably, I can't believe how these people are in positions where you're supposed to be smart and they do the dumbest low IQ stuff. So not only is that not going to be heard in time, but Fannie, to put a cherry on top of the shake, she went out and sold her cherry. She hired a guy and then paid him to go on sex vacations. She hired him for a job he has no experience. She overpaid him, and they used that money to go on sex vacations. She's toast. So, what does that leave us with? Oh, yeah, Colorado. Colorado's going to save them. They're going to take Trump off the ballots everywhere or some states. Well, that's not going to happen. The Supreme Court is going to hear this. They're going to laugh at it. They're going to go probably 9-0 against it. We have a conservative Supreme Court. They don't like change. They only go for change if there's a compelling reason. The way Amendment 14, Section 3 was worded, they didn't include the president. The president's office is not in there, not one time, not one single time. And they spent 2 years debating and going over and writing before they ratified this. So every single word in Section 3 has been analyzed and scrutinized by the people who wrote it, and they know exactly what they were writing. They did not accidentally leave the president out of there. If they wanted the president in there, they would have included it. And I'll tell you some reasons in my next video what that has to do with the Civil War and why they didn't include the president. There's a very compelling reason for that. So now, the other thing about that is the liberals want to claim that the president is an officer and he'd be included under any officer. Yeah, right. Like they're going to just take the president and consider him any officer. Just the most powerful man in the world, in the most powerful position in the entire freaking world that anybody has ever held in the history of mankind. We're just going to include that with any officer. Yeah, right. Okay. Supreme Court's not going to buy that. Okay, so to even back that up more, here's the other thing I'm going to leave you with before I sign off is we know they're not going to rule that the president's office or the president himself is an officer because guess what? And I just found this out yesterday. And I was, saying he wasn't an officer before I found this out. But to even bolster my support on this, it turns out the chief the chief head justice of the Supreme Court, John Roberts, had a case about 10 years ago, and in his opinion on it, he stated, and it's law, that the president is not an officer, that officers are appointed and the president is elected. Done. End of issue. All right. So now, I'm not making any money off this. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I got a comment about how, ooh, I'm sharing my genius insights. I don't have any genius insights. What I do have is genius blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak. I've done a lot of hard work. I've done a lot of research. Most of you don't have the time to do the research I've done. I'm paying the price for it, but I'm going to do it anyways because I feel like it's my civic duty. And I'm going to share what I've done with you. Most of you, like I said, don't have the time to do this research. A lot of you are working two jobs just to keep up with inflation. Biden is destroying this country. We need Trump in, and we need him for 4 more years in 2024 to 28, and then we need Vivek. I'll more on Vivek in my next video. I got some surprises for you on that. I think you'll enjoy them, and I'm going to go into more detail on Amendment 14, Section 3. Thanks for watching my video. Appreciate it, and bye for now.